Hey, I'm Rhett Shull. Welcome back to another video. So today I want to talk about overdrives. Now in this past year, I've gotten the opportunity to play overdrives from all different manufacturers and styles designed for different guitar and amp combinations and different players. So today I'm going to show you some of my favorites from this past year. Now, disclaimer, some of these pedals were given to me by the manufacturers to use in videos or to make demos of. Some of those manufacturers even sponsored videos in the past. So for those of you that are concerned, I will be sure to disclose which pedals I bought myself and which ones were given to me by the manufacturer. Just because something was given to me though does not mean it makes the list. These are all pedals that I would feel absolutely comfortable with recommending to any one of my player friends or going out and spending the full retail price on myself. So without further ado, let's jump in and take a look at the first pedal. Okay, so today I'm using my Fender Stratocaster. This is a John Mayer signature. It's one of the black one special editions. It's completely stock. It's got the Big Dipper pickups in it, which are pretty low output, pretty mid-scooped, but a great sounding Strat. From there, I'm going straight through our overdrive pedals and then into the front of my Divided by 13 FTR 37. That's going through its matching 212 cab. There's an Alnico Blue and a G12H30 in that cab. I've got both of those mic'd up, running into two preamps and into Logic. If you want a more detailed list of the signal flow, that'll be in the description box down below. So the first pedal on our list today is the Timmy from Paul Cochran. This is a legendary pedal. You've probably heard it or played it or own one, but let's hear what it sounds like. Here is my clean sound. Okay, this is without a doubt one of my favorite pedals I've ever owned. I bought this pedal about 5 years ago. This was not one that was given to me. My favorite thing about this pedal is the versatility. It works with any guitar, any pickup combination, any amp. It's fantastic. It's got plenty of gain on tap. The EQ controls are actually extremely responsive, and they're actually EQ cut controls, meaning the more you turn the treble and bass up, the less treble or bass you get. So as I turn the treble counterclockwise, you'll hear the pedal get brighter. Now that's too bright for this guitar for a Strat, but if you're playing a Les Paul or another humbucker style guitar, it's amazing to have that much top end on tap so you can really brighten up your tone. Unbelievable pedal. It's got a three-way switch in the middle, which changes the clipping. I usually keep it just straight in the middle. The differences are subtle, but they are there, so. So who do I think should own a Timmy? Everyone. Honestly, this is one of those pedals. I put it up there in the same category as like a Tube Screamer. So that's the first pedal on the list, the Paul Cochran Timmy. Let's see what's next. Okay, so this is the Lawrence Petros 68 drive. This is essentially a 68 Marshall Plexi in a box. Now, this company did send this pedal to me a few months ago to use on the channel, and this is actually the first time it's appearing on the channel. If you're looking for a Marshall and a can type pedal, I would definitely take a look at the 68 drive. It also cleans up really well with your volume knob. And it even does that Hendrix thing really well. If you back off the drive a little bit, you bring the treble up. Now, this pedal I would recommend for anyone that's running a cleaner amp and wants a good amp-like overdrive. So if you're running like a Fender Deluxe or a Twin, something along those lines, but you need that Marshall kind of sound, the 68 drive does that, I think, really, really well. Next up on the list is the Origin Effects Revival Drive. Now, this is another pedal that was given to me by the company to use on the channel, and they actually sponsored this video where I built the rest of this board that the pedal is attached to. Right now, we're just hearing the pedal on its own. It's out of the signal chain of the rest of the board. Now, this is definitely the most expensive and complicated pedal on my list, but the reason it makes the list is because of how usable this thing is. It's more than just an overdrive. So in the video that I made for this pedal, I basically used it as an amp replacement. This is a DI rig. This pedal board was built to use as a DI rig, and I've even been using it as a bass DI recently on a few gigs that I've been playing bass on. So I would recommend this to a player who's looking for a really versatile, a really surgical overdrive. Maybe you are playing a lot of backline amps, or you're flying in and out of gigs a lot and you don't always know what you're gonna be playing through. Because it's so surgical, you can make it sound good with any amp, and that was the whole idea behind the Revival Drive, and I think they've nailed that. Next up on our list is the Vertex Steel String Clean Drive. Now, Vertex gave me this pedal to do a video with a while back, and I actually did a full demo of this pedal, which you can check out here. That was a sponsored video as well. Now, technically, this is another amp in a box style pedal, but I don't really see it that way, and I don't use it that way. So this is the lowest gain overdrive of everything on the list so far. As you can see, I've got the gain pretty much dimed, and this is all it has to offer. Which, for something like the 68 drive or the Timmy, that might be on the lower end of the gain spectrum, but that's not really where the steel string shines, in my opinion. Where I like to use the pedal is right around here, gain at noon, and get this kind of really nice edge of breakup sort of tone. then the knob in the middle is just a mid control. It basically controls what part of the mid range you're accentuating. But that's essentially it. I mean, compared to something like the Revival Drive we just looked at, this is an extremely simple pedal. For me, it's kind of an always on sort of thing. I like to use it with a totally clean amp. And for reference, here is the clean signal. Sometimes totally clean amps can be a little anemic, and I think the steel string is good at fixing that, adding some character, adding a little grit, some edge of breakup. It also stacks really well with other overdrive pedals. So if you're looking for something like that to add a little character to your amp, I highly recommend the steel string from Vertex. Okay, I've got to bring my whole board in for this one because, well, it's buried under there, so. Okay, and finally on the list, my Desert Island Overdrive pedal. I don't go anywhere without this thing. That's why it's on my board and not coming off. The Greer Lightspeed. Now, I bought this pedal probably 5 years ago, maybe 4 years ago. I don't know. I've had it a really long time, and it's been with me on every gig, every session, everything I've done ever since owning it. It's kind of the end-all be-all overdrive for me. It's an extremely simple pedal, 3 knobs, volume, drive, and tone. Right, is that even what it's called? It's called frequency, but it's like a tone knob. Why do I keep dropping picks today? And it's kind of a light to medium gain overdrive, similar to the steel string in that respect. You know, you're not gonna get a ton of gain out of this pedal. The reason this is the end-all be-all pedal for me is because it works well with any amp and it works well with any pedal. So the way I have it set up is basically like a clean edge of breakup kind of tone. Here's my clean tone once again from the amp. And here is the Lightspeed. Now, this is probably the best example of a transparent overdrive that I have found. I don't traditionally like to describe pedals that way because I think it's kind of a buzzword, but honestly, this is the best adjective I have for the Lightspeed is it's transparent. You can hear that overdrive tone just sounds like my amp, just a little dirtier, right? Here's the clean tone once again. I mean, it's the amp with a little more hair on it. So like the Timmy, this is another one of those overdrives that I would recommend to any and every guitar player. If you have a guitar and an amp and you want it to be louder and dirtier, get a Lightspeed. You won't be disappointed. I love mine. I don't have any working relationship with Greer. I've never done any kind of pedal demos or anything for them. I'm really just a fan of this pedal in particular. Okay, so there you go. That's my list of favorite overdrives from 2018. I'm already looking forward to next year's list. Let me know what you thought about today's video in the comments down below. What are your favorite overdrives from this year or in years past? Doesn't matter. If you want to get involved in supporting me and this YouTube channel, you can check out the Green Room, which is linked down below. Also be sure to check out my Kemper profiles where I use a lot of these overdrives through my amps to get some really great Kemper profiled sounds. Those are also linked below as well. Be sure to follow me on Instagram at Rhett Shull to keep up with what's going on in my musical world. This is my last video before Christmas, so if you are celebrating Christmas wherever you are in the world, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and I will see you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching.